Hello everyone, it's the Effort Avenger here with another video, and I haven't done one of these in a long time, but I'm going to do another episode of albums I got recently. I haven't been getting as many albums because I don't really have much money right now, but I'm hoping I will be able to get more and more sooner. But anyways, I want to cut the crap and get right to the stuff, the good stuff. I got quite a few things here, so let's get this started. So these are some albums that I've gotten in the past several months, at least 2 or 3. I know that's kind of a ways back, but anyways, the first album that I have here is Lenny Kravitz's Strut, and I'm not a huge fan of Lenny Kravitz. I think I kind of wanted to check him out after I saw him at the Super Bowl with Katy Perry, who I do like a lot, and I got this, which is his latest album, I believe. It's like a mixture of rock and pop, so, I do believe he's been around for a while, for a good while. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I just wanted to check him out and see if he was any good, and his album's pretty nice, so definitely check out Lenny Kravitz's Strut. The next album I have here is one of my favorite artists, Prince, and it is not a common album. You'll probably not find this in stores, but this is Chaos and Disorder. This is more of a rock-oriented album during this period of time. He was stepping kind of more away from pop and stuff like that, and focusing more on R&B. And this is like heavy metal. Well, maybe not too heavy metal, but this is more like metal infused with like Quiet Storm and just hard rock. So if you want something from Prince that really shows his hardcore, I can't really say hardcore, but if you want something that shows more of his rock-oriented chops, definitely check out Chaos and Disorder, because this would be the one for you if you want that. Next album is one by another one of my favorite artists, and that is Jimi Hendrix, and this is The Cry of Love, and this is actually an album that I didn't even know existed. I just saw it in stores and I was like, huh, I've never heard of this album. It came out in 2014, so I guess it's a release of some of his unreleased material. So yeah, it has stuff like Freedom, Easy Rider, Straight Ahead, Astro Man, so Jimi Hendrix. Next album is a classic rock album, Led Zeppelin 3 by none other than Led Zeppelin, and you have a little spinny thingy here. Let me see if I can get this going here on the front cover, and you can spin it and it changes the thingy. As you can see, it's spinning, it's changing. You got pictures of stuff all psychedelic and nice. But anyways, this is definitely one of their classic albums. It has stuff like Immigrant Song. Let me see if the track like Immigrant Song, Gallows Pole, Tangerine, stuff like that. So definitely a classic album. Definitely one that I would pick up, because this is from their classic period, between the first album, the second, which is my personal favorite, this and 4 and Houses of the Holy and whatnot. So Led Zeppelin 3, Led Zeppelin. The next album, we're actually taking a step away from rock for a bit and focusing on hip-hop, and this is the Notorious B.I.G's final posthumous release, Life After Death, a true hip-hop classic. It is a double album, double CDs, and this is considered one of the most prolific albums in hip-hop history. You have things like Mo Money, Mo Problems, Niggas Bleed, 10 Crack Commandments, My Downfall. This is Notorious B.I.G. This was released very shortly after his untimely, unfortunate death. So, Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, Life After Death. This next album could kind of be considered a parallel to Life After Death, with the whole East Coast, West Coast feud, and that is Tupac Shakur's last album, his posthumous album. He was under the stage name Machiavelli at the time, and that is the Don Killuminati, the 7-Day Theory, and I believe this album was made in a total of 7 days. You can see there's a parental advisory sticker right over Tupac as he's hanging on a cross, and this is another very prophetic album. Both of these albums are very, very prophetic, as they kind of prophesied their deaths to a degree. Biggie's talking about how he's gonna get shot and everything. He's gonna get killed really soon, and this kind of talks about how he's about to be killed everything. It has a lot of great classics like Hail Mary, To Live and Die in LA, Life of an Outlaw, stuff like that. So definitely pick up both of these albums. Very, very highly regarded classics in hip-hop history. Machiavelli, The Don Illuminati, The 7-Day Theory. It is time for a three-peat with yet another hip-hop classic album, and that is NWA, which of course stands for Niggas with Attitude, and this is Niggas for Life, which is actually the second and final studio album by NWA. Of course, Ice Cube had left before, and Dr. Dre was leaving soon to form Death Row Records, so this was released a few months before they disbanded, and you only have 4 of the original members, which were Dr. Dre, who did a lot of performing and production. You had the DOC, MC Ren, and Eazy-E on this. So you have stuff like Real Niggas Don't Die, Niggas for Life, things like that, Don't Drink That Wine, Real Niggas, and stuff like that. So yeah, NWA, Niggas for Life, classic. Next is something I got more recently, and this is actually Gorillaz' first full LP, which is their self-titled album, Gorillaz. Let me tell you something about Gorillaz. I recently reviewed their album Demon Days, which of course I love to death. But Gorillaz has recently become one of my most favorite bands. I actually picked up Demon Days before I got this. This is more of it's not as like lyrical as Demon Days is. You have things like Clint Eastwood, 5'4", Rock the House, which, oh my god, I love Rock the House, and stuff like that. You have 19-2000, which is a great song, but it's not as lyrical, I guess you could say, as Demon Days is. It's not as, like, I guess you could say it's not as, like, thematic as Demon Days is, but this is a really, really good start for their career, because Clint Eastwood blew up to like incredible proportions, especially with the music video. The music video is amazing. The song is amazing. It's iconic in like alternative rock music. But yeah, Gorillaz, that self-titled album. And now we come to the final album, and this is my most recent pickup, and it's not something I guess anybody would be expecting, and that is Karate High School, Arcade Rock. And this album, I was in the record store at my local mall, and I saw this. I was looking around for albums, and I was like, well, what can I buy? And I saw this, and just by the cover, like, look at this cover, I was like, it looks like a PlayStation 1 game, like, with the whole side part here and everything, and, like, the animation, the cartooniness of it, and I was like, well, this is like, I've never seen anything like this before, so I decided to pick it up. It was really cheap. I never heard of this band before, but I listened to it. I listened to a few tracks of it, and it's actually a pop punk album, which I kind of wasn't expecting, because I'd never heard of this band before, and I did a little research on them before I even listened to it, and I was like, okay, this is a pop punk band, but they're also considered a Nintendo core band, so I was like, oh, this sounds like something I'd kind of like, but it's alright. I mean, it's some of the better pop punk that I've heard. I'm not a huge fan of pop punk, but it's definitely some better pop punk that I've, heard more recently. Not that I listen to it a whole lot, but it's somewhat thematic. Like the lyrics are very like storytelling, I guess you could say. If you're interested in this kind of thing, I'd definitely check this out. If you're a fan of pop punk. If you're a fan of, like, I guess video games, it doesn't really have much to do about video games, but, of course the cover is very video gamey with its, like, pixelated kind of thing, and the back, too, has that helicopter in a city. I thought it looked very Earthbound-ish, if you know what that game is. I love Earthbound, yeah, Karate High School, Arcade Rock, that's the final one. So anyways, thank you for joining me on this another episode of Albums I Got Recently. Hopefully I'll have more cool stuff for you guys soon after I get my hands on some more dough. But I have a lot of things on my list, and I'm trying to pick up albums as often as possible. So anyways, thank you again for watching, and so long.